Hello, hello. Welcome to the Spiritual View. It is Thursday, August the 21st. Welcome to everyone around the world. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a great lineup for tonight, and I'm going to introduce our crew and our special guest. So let's start first with the crew. We have Dawn, who's here from Alchemy and Tarot Alchemy. I said astrology and Tarot Alchemy. Jen from the Awakened Jen. We have Wendy. We have Ruby from Ruby's Lighthouse Tarot, and Ruby is one of our guest hosts who hosted this week Wildcard Wednesday. And we are delighted to have Betsy Morgan Coffman joining us tonight as our special guest. So welcome in, Betsy. And as you are signing on, we are welcoming everyone. And just a few housekeeping items. We are not going to be pulling tarot tonight. We're actually going to dedicate this entire time to Betsy, and we're going to just give you a reminder that this Saturday, August the 23rd at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Dawn will be leading us through our new moon in Virgo ritual for setting intentions. It's in Virgo at 0 degrees, Dawn points out, with the yod pointing at it. So there's going to be a lot of big energy, a lot to talk about. So please join us live on Saturday, the 23rd at 12 p.m. Now, I'm going to introduce Betsy. And Betsy and I know one another, and she was gracious enough to join us this evening for a chat around the energies of Orion, who has been her spiritual guide for many years now. But Betsy has kind of an unparalleled background, and we have posted her bio. I'm not going to go through it all, but she has an esteemed group of trainers, from Wayne Dyer to Anthony Robbins to Deepak Chopra to Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, to name a few. And so she has been doing channeling for many, many years. She teaches a course on channeling. She's written 2 books. I've got one of the books right here for you. It's around ascension and the accelerated path into the new millennium. Her channeling book is beautiful as well. I put it in such a special place so that I would find it that I couldn't find it. So anyway, if you want to order her books, her website is listed where you can order her books or look at her courses that she teaches. So we are just so delightful, Betsy, this wise sage, spiritual teacher, channeler, and we're blessed to have you. And just welcome from the bottom of our hearts. And everyone in the chat, say hello to Betsy. Now, tonight, we're actually going to talk with Betsy, but also we'll be talking to the energies of Orion. So Orion is going to come through, and we're going to ask Betsy to describe a little bit about how she got started channeling. If you would start there, and then we're going to give guidance, because we're going to ask questions, and then we're going to turn it over to you to ask some questions, but we'll give you a little bit of instructions on how best to ask those questions.
Okay.
All right. So Betsy, can you tell us a little bit about your journey, how you got started channeling?
I would love to. And Cherie, I want to thank you so much for inviting me to join your group tonight. And this is a surprise to Cherie. Just real quickly, I want to gift Cherie. I do my readings in a 45-minute session. Cherie, this one is for you. It's a gift, and you can use it or gift it, whatever you want to do. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So the way I got into channeling was, even though I'm from the Midwest, and as you probably all know, the Midwest is not as open to channeling as more of the Western states, but they're coming along. I always had a feeling, but not the cultural support. And I was just drawn to come to Albuquerque. When people would say the name Albuquerque, I would hear bells. So I knew that there was something there for me. When I came to Albuquerque, I could feel the difference vibrationally, and it felt like home. So I've been in this city for about 50 years. What happened is I had gotten married, had 2 babies. One was a year, one was 7 months. My little girl at 7, this is my story, how I got into channeling. My little girl got sick at 7 months of age, very sick. And I took her to doctors around New Mexico, didn't help. I took her finally to the Mayo Clinic. She had the head of pediatrics as her physician. He had worked with her to test for 2 weeks, couldn't figure out anything, and handed her back to me, basically said, good luck. We can't help you. And at that time, I had a friend who was a minister in a church, First Church of Religious Science, who sent me a telegram saying, never fear, God's intelligence is in every cell of your daughter's being. That was an intro, and I knew that resonated. I had been brought up more traditionally religious. I feel that now I'm spiritual. I love all paths, all roads lead to Rome. Wherever you are, whatever path you're following, it's perfect. So at that moment, there's something that opened up within me. And then when I got home, a girlfriend, ironically by the name of Liberty, called and said, have you thought about taking your daughter to see the psychic surgeons? They're in town. They're from the Philippines. And I said, actually, I don't believe in that kind of thing and our cultural programming. And she said, what do you have to lose? Best thing anyone could say to me. I thought, well, really nothing. So I went the first day, and this is one of the miracles of my life. There were about 40 people there. They took me into, one at a time, you undressed, put on a robe. They took you into a room. There was a massage table, and you laid down on the massage table. One man stands praying at your head, the other at your side, and they asked what I wanted. I didn't have any health problems, so I said, how about if I lose a little weight, of all things? And then I said, in a spiritual healing. Well, what happened next was I was looking into the center of my stomach, and they let me sit up on my elbows and watch them do the surgery, and it was absolutely life-altering. So, of course, at that moment, I realized that there's more to life than meets the eye. There's more than what we are told about, and that woke something up in me. By the way, I lost 20 pounds, and I took my daughter the next day. I couldn't go in with her for her surgery, but ironically, she didn't cry, and she'd been strapped to x-ray tables and the like at the Mayo Clinic, but she didn't cry with them. And yet the next day I brought her back, so she saw them twice, and they said, why did you bring her back? Did your mind tell you to? And I said, yes. So that's another key for us. What's our mind telling us? And they said, well, you better let us have her then. They took her away, and when they brought her back, they said, let her be. So when I walked outside that home, I actually physically lifted her up to heaven, to God divine, all that is. And I said, if this child is to be healed, still makes me cry. It's up to you. And I took her off all the medication. They had 5 times the maximum dose of aspirin for an infant. And it took her off everything. And she'd had fever so high it wouldn't even register on the thermometer. She had no more fever. She's healthy. She was a head cheerleader. She's someone mistook her for Holly Holmes. She went to pick up some medicine at a pharmacy, and they gave her Holly Holmes medicine. She's an angel, an earth angel. And I realized if somebody else can do it, we can do it. So I want you to know, if you see somebody else doing something that gets you excited, inspires you, you can do that. Follow that dream, follow that passion, because that's your calling. So what happened was I discovered Reiki, which is a hands-on healing technique. It balances the energy. And for some people, the healing can go quite far. Some people, it'll reduce stress, pain, and sometimes will induce a healing, because every organ in our body is connected. There's a pathway of connection, just like you and I are connected. And that's why I can channel, and that's why you can too if you want to. So I know I'm talking fast, but I have so much to say. So the next thing I knew, I was doing Reiki for a long time, years, and about the 6th or 7th year, maybe 8th year, I was giving someone a Reiki. And Oh, just before that, a girlfriend called and invited me to go as her guest to Brazil, where I got to meet more psychic surgeons. Again, I got to watch psychic surgery, and I got to have one. I had an ear infection, and the fellow said, "Get on the table." My girlfriend was standing next to me. She said, "I thought that knife would come out the other side of your head." And when I first felt the stick, for me, it was Jesus. And everybody has their own master that they want to connect to. Perhaps some go directly to God, whatever. And I said, "Jesus, help me." And I didn't feel it. And the infection went away. But I watched others get their psychic surgery. And then I noticed one person did not get a psychic surgery. They got touched in a prayer. And so I asked the gentleman, and somebody translated Portuguese for us. I said, "How come she didn't get psychic surgery?" And he said, "Some people need to see it to accept the change in their mind." So these situations brought me to a level of acceptance that we can do more than we are told. Then in the Reiki, fast forward a few years, I was doing a Reiki, and in the Reiki room, it was quiet. There's soft music playing. I was working on a lady, and I heard a voice in my head. And this is the moment that Orion came in. I heard hello, and I looked around like, oh my gosh, who's in this room with us? And then I heard hello. And so silently, I answered hello back. And the voice said hello again. And I said, "Who are you?" And the voice said, "I'm Orion." And I had read several of Orrin and Ben's books. And I said, "Orrin?" And being from the Midwest, that's a popular name. And he said, "No, Orion." And I said, "Like the stars?" He says, "Yes, I'm a being of light from the stars, and it's time for us to work together." And I said, "For what reason?" He said, "You are to teach channeling." And I said, "Oh, you've got the wrong girl. I don't channel." And he said, "But you will, and I just want you to follow what I say." So at the time, I was a single mom with a 1 and 2-year-old child, pretty close to the poverty mark, working, raising my 2 children. And I thought, once again, what do you have to lose? And so I listened to a voice in my head. And since then, Orion has given me, and I offer this to you, if you're interested in channeling or listening to your higher self, and that you can call channeling, it doesn't matter what word you give it. I like to think, and Orion has told me that channeling is basically listening to truth and sharing truth for the purpose of love. A lot more goes on. Channeling lifts your frequency to a higher level. If any of you have read Power versus Force by David Hawkins, you might recognize that joy, love, gratitude are very high vibrations. Grief, fear, anger, shame are very low. And so when we are vibrating at a low frequency, our bodies aren't as healthy, and we don't tract the physical form of the vibration of love that we would like to have in our lives. So interestingly enough, David Hawkins, somewhere in his book, I remember reading it and getting real excited, people who channel lift their frequency and are among the ones on the earth that have the highest frequency. So when you channel, to me, channeling is feeling the bliss of the kingdom of heaven. Not only can you bring in truth and help solve problems, there may not be one answer to a problem, but there is a best answer. So when we go up and connect with our higher selves, with the divine I am, with your spirit guides and angels, you can get the best answer. And it's up to you whether you want to follow it. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So you might want to follow what the channel gives to you, or you might not. Nobody's going to judge you. You're going to be equally loved in heaven and by God. Whatever you do, what God wants is for you to be happy. And so what channeling does for another person is its intention is to make you happier and healthier and more abundant in every good way.
Oh, that's beautiful, Betsy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. Powerful words. And I think we can all relate to that and learn from it. and would like to explore more. So for the audience, we're going to have our crew ask a question, and more it's around questions for the collective. So if you would like to ask a question in the next phase, put a heart in the chat. And if you have a question, if you can make it general enough that it could relate to the collective energies, that would be super. Because we're not going to have time to go into everyone's personal questions and information. But if you have a question of curiosity for Orion that might pertain to all of us, that would be where we'd like to focus our time. So put a heart in the chat and any question and we will try to get to as many as we can. All right. So we're going to start, Betsy, if you're all right with that. Wendy, I believe you had a question that you wanted to ask. And let's go with Wendy.
Yeah. Hi, Betsy. So we've been talking a lot about having this kind of tower energy that's been coming in for quite a while. And just we've all been having to go through a lot of kind of turmoil and learning lessons. And it's been a kind of a like, hey, if you haven't taken care of this by now, then you're going to be made to. With this feeling of there's something to come. So it's in preparation for something to come ahead of us. So my question is, does Orion have any insight about what we're preparing to face in the near future? Why we're preparing for this?
Wendy, what a great question. Possibly the best question. So good luck to everybody else. By the way, Wendy, and everybody that's here in Cherie's group. I'm looking at the names. I don't have them in front of me. I wrote them down. It's just like you, Cherie. I wrote them down in a place where I didn't want to forget them, and now they're gone. But all the ladies that met with me 30 minutes early, you are all from Sirius, and you all knew each other in Sirius. And now you've come back to help lift the light of the planet Earth. So I thank you very much for the good work that you're doing. And Wendy, you have a lot of also Arcturian energy, which they're saying that you're here not only to be a spiritual leader, but you're here to help the planet. You might find yourself very interested in the environment. And what a perfect question this is for you to ask. You might really like animals. You might be drawn to certain animals more than others because, of course, you've had many past lives and some were around animals. So, and they're showing me there's something else. Well, I'm starting to get into the personal. Let me answer your question. It's fun to have the permission to access. It's like reading the New York Times, and I get to read your energy field, and your heart is terrific. Okay, starting to read the personal. Let me go back into your question.
I'd love to hear it after.
Okay, that's good. Orion told me about 37 years ago that he said there's coming a time when the earth is going to divide in two. Some will go to the right and some will go to the left. Those that have incorporated the vibration of love are going to go to the right, and those that have not, who are fearful and come from fear, will go to the left. And those that go to the right won't know those that go to the left, and those that go to the left won't know those that go to the right. Now that brings up a big question in the human mind. How can that be? Well, we don't know everything, obviously. We all most likely have had some experience that has drawn us into the recognition then we're more than the physical vehicle. And the power of the body and the power of the spirit is unlimited. And this is something that we're growing into as a species to not only accept, but acquire, develop, and express. So those of us that are here tonight or in the morning, wherever you are on the planet, we are more in alignment with love and the possibility of love expressing through us as us, that we are God in a human form. So the earth, I'm sure you all notice huge change, whether it is the environment or cultures, because of the internet and the techie revolution, we are merging cultures, and we're trying to accept and adapt to other people, their culture, their beliefs, be good people, and yet find our own way. And that's causing a little conflict and country against country when we're all the family of man or woman. And there are just different aspects, and economically, there's a big division. So there's kind of a clash going on of belief systems and physical choices. Change is running rampant, and human beings don't normally do well with change. We kind of like things to go the status quo. So what's happening right now on the planet is we're going through ascension, where our vibrations are going up. And this new word, at least it's kind of new to me, is timeline. We are multidimensional beings of light, and that means we're living several lives at the same time. And yet we are focusing somehow on where you are right now, while we are lifting in frequency and going into a higher timeline, which is a different physical reality. All of this going on, and we're mixing it up with other people who are going through their own thing. So there's kind of a clash going on of vibration, and people are thinking, what's my reality and what has happened to my life? Because people are facing their greatest challenges now. I want to share with you, if you are in this group who's going, my gosh, what's happening to my life, let alone the world, keep yourself cleansed out of negativity. If you want to, right? It's harder to do this because I know that we like to have fun and we like to veg out. Oh my gosh, I have so much to share. Be aware of the ego, because when you start to get it, the ego is going to kick in harder. And the ego is part of our mind chatter. And the ego will tell you you're hungry, or you want to watch TV, or you want to take a nap, just when you're on the precipice of getting an insight or taking a step towards awakening your higher power. So, and this ego will come into effect while you're channeling too, telling you no matter how good you're channeling, you're not good enough. And it does that in life. No matter what a good person you are, you're not good enough. People are going to talk about you. Well, people are going to talk about you. So try your best to let it be, because it's not what they think about you that's going to create a good life for yourself. It's what you think about you. Remember the power of the mind. Remember the power of the heart, mind. And I love Greg Braden's stuff. Heart Math, if you haven't listened to it, it's very good. You can create a coherence between the heart and the brain, creating more health and prosperity for yourself, body, mind, and spirit. And it helps you to lift in vibration and connect up here to where you really are. And you're inhabiting a physical vehicle that responds to this coordination. So where are we going? Let me take a look at that, Wendy. Right now, I'm seeing that a couple of things. We're going into a bit of chaos before we come into a calm. Some people will experience the calm. Some people are going to experience. Now, we all know that AI is good in many ways, but it also is kind of a threat. What I'm seeing is that I'm looking into the all that is. I want to remind everybody that you can do this. One of our conscious aspects of the mind is intuition and the ability to see through the veil. And if you trust yourself and practice and then apply, listen, trust, and act is what Orion says. Listen, trust, and act. The more you do that, the more you get the ball rolling. So, as I'm looking, I see that AI has corporations and or people, scientists, that have developed chips to put into a person's body and even their brain to help them to do math, become engineers or scientists or pilots. That's okay, except the brain is set up to use it or lose it. And if you don't use certain synapses and neuropeptides. Neuropeptides are very important. Then they stop producing. And so if we put in these chips, our brain will, within a week or two, slow down. And then if you try to pick it up on your own, you can't do it because the brain has annihilated what it thinks it doesn't need anymore. So it's important for us not to be, I think, hybrid humans. We want to be divinely human. Right now, our earth is pure for the most part. There may be a few here and there, but we are pure humans, which gives us access to our own divinity. So what's coming is a spiritual evolution and awakening. And if you are listening to this program tonight, I like to say it's synchronicity that's got you here. There's a part of your own awareness that's ready to wake up. I think synchronicity is spiritual, spirit talking to us, spirit saying, this is good. You know, we all look at the clock and may see 12:12 or 3:33, and it's a good sign. It's a sign that spirit is with you. So in answer to your question, Wendy, different people are going to experience different realities because we're going to different timelines. And I know that's not the answer that everybody wants to hear, but everything is changing. So for those who love, you're going to have a good future eventually. 2030 is going to be a big explosive year. So stay with love, love yourself, and you'll be doing okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Betsy. I'm going to go ahead and pass on to Ruby. Ruby?
Hi. When you said the serious thing about 3 weeks ago, I'm a claircognizant, and I had been told that about 3 weeks ago, and I was Googling serious. So when you said that, my heart jumped.
Oh, good.
Yes. My question is, what purpose does Orion feel the suffering so many of us are experiencing is for right now, the emotional and physical suffering? Because it's with a lot of my close friends, it's just everywhere I see people that are on the path of the light, and it's all healers that I'm seeing. So if you could go into that a little bit.
You bet. That's another great question. You all are really good with these questions.
Thank you.
I approve. What Orion says is that mostly it's, as you all know, a cleanse. I'm thinking that most of you already know that. And I don't want to just make it a unimportant question or unimportant answer by saying that it's very important. When there's the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. So we've been at the conscious level applying the law of attraction. If we are loving, we are supposed to attract loving responses. And sometimes that doesn't work. Two things come up. One is we've signed contracts before we've come into this physical body. And those contracts are almost always meant to work themselves out. And often the contract has to do, and now we're going to bring it in with the cleanse. Our soul wants to cleanse and purify so that it can lift. And the cleanse that happens at a physical level will often interface with the emotional and the mental level so that all can be cleansed out. The cleansing of the physical body for us who know is to be met consciously with acceptance rather than resistance, and with love, and with loving the body, each organ, and to send light, not only what some people may say, oh, that's metaphysical nonsense. Blend it with your medical at the level in which you want to do so. I'm all for that. I'm not telling you what to do. I just want you to know that there are options. And for us, and what Orion says about the pain that we're going through, whether it be an illness or a breakup in a relationship, whatever it is purposeful. Some people say karma is no longer happening on the planet. That's not what I'm seeing, but let me define how I see karma. Karma is simply a balancing of energies. Whatever you put out, the balancing is going to come back. That's just the way it is. We are balancing. And so when something comes up that a person needs to cleanse, the body being cooperative with itself will bring in that negative vibration, whether someone's hurt you or you feel guilty for hurting somebody else, whatever it is, it goes into the body. And it's a conscious or unconscious thought or memory, and it has to be cleansed out so the vibration can escalate. And the people that your friends that are healers and of the light, this is like the last stitch effort. We've got to do it now. And so they're doing it now. And we can stick together and help each other through goodwill, sending healing, and loving and believing in the unlimited power of the human, that we are one with God. We are unlimited in our power. Thank you, Ruby.
I think I'm up next. So my question is, as people are getting into channeling and listening to channelers, how can they know that they're listening to the right channels and, getting the right information?
Another great question. Thank you. If you're going to get a channeling, vet the channel before, see if somebody can refer you, or look at their website for sure, or feel intuitive about them, and check it out. And if you're going to do channeling yourself, what I do with my students is I tell them always, always to qualify the guide or angel or master teacher or star being family member that you want to talk to. And the way we do this is you start by sitting in a comfortable and relaxed position. And this is a bit of heart math. Ironically, the way Orion, a being of light from the stars that came to Earth to help people to lift their frequency and ascend, came because he was invited. And the way he told me to do the setup so people could channel is the way heart math. I found this out 35 years after I was teaching channeling. It's heart math setup to bring the coherence between the heart and the mind to go higher. So sit in a comfortable and relaxed position, close your eyes, and take 3 very deep, relaxing breaths. And if you want to, even place your hand on your heart, because what you touch on your body, more energy will go there. And then imagine your heart being open. Use your great imagination. Imagination is up here. It's a chakra up here. It's wonderful to be blessed and not discounted. And then qualify your guide. Highest, best, easiest, most loving. Highest, best, easiest, most loving guide to come to me now, or to come to me to answer this person's question. And then the guide that comes in, feel if you feel love. And if you don't feel love, you have the right, by divine acceptance of your connection with God, to release that guide. And then cleanse by bringing in white light all the way through your crown, your third eye, your throat, and your heart, and release it out the rest of your chakras and the rest of your cells. I am cleansed in the name of God. You can say that 1 to 3 times and you are cleansed. And then do it again. I now bring in the highest, best, most loving, and easiest guide to channel, or angel. If you want to make sure, bring in Orion or Jesus or Buddha, someone that you affiliate with already and that you trust. You can call upon a guide by name, and they are all happy to help. They do not get jealous. If you find them all crowding the door at the same time, say highest and best, and then you'll feel one pop through.
I love that. Thank you. I think Dawn, you're next.
Yes, so I'm jotting down different things.
Okay.
One of the things that I want to say is, astrologically, everything that you've said it's right on path with all the stuff that I see astrologically. Great. And many of the people that are doing the mundane astrology about there being difficulties for now, but out until like 2030 and 2032 before it really starts to straighten out a little bit. But the thing is also us having that own protection. And I think that's where I'm just kind of realizing that's where the divine energy is coming in, where we're allowing us to accept. So sinking into that divine energy more to accept the changes that are happening in our body.
Yes.
I think that's why divine feminine has been getting louder and louder. Also, I went to see Joe Dispenza, and the same thing with the heart and mind coherence, and then setting your intention up into the quantum level to make things happen.
Yes.
So that same kind of that heart math kind of thing, and I just heard it from a different perspective. So all of that is like making a lot of sense to me. I'm so excited. So really my thoughts are, because we're having all these big changes, and I have thought about being in Europe because of a connection there, but what areas do we have that, you know, would be best served? Because I do feel like there's natural disasters coming in. And I think that, you know, if we're aware of maybe just even following what our own intuition is regarding that, what does Orion have to say about that kind of energy?
There are a couple different places in Europe that look great for you, by the way, and they're not that close to each other. And there's one place in the States that looks good for you, but it's more towards the east. Where do you want to tell us the state that you are in? What,
Minnesota. I'm in Minnesota right now. I was born here, yeah, and I was. My sons were born in Florida, but I would not go back to Florida right now.
As one of where you're headed either. Minnesota looks pretty good, but also somewhere between Minnesota and Florida in there looks very good.
Tennessee, probably.
Could be Tennessee, yeah. Where are the Appalachian Mountains?
They're to the east of Tennessee, I believe, on that far side.
Oh, great, because they were saying close to the Appalachian Mountains, so that looks good. So anyway, 2 places in Europe, and I think that one has to do close to England, and I think that one has more to do with close to Spain. I didn't think I was going to see Spain. I thought it was more geographically located around France or Germany, but let me look at that later after if you want. So what was your question? I'm so sorry.
Well, I think just because I feel like the divine feminine energy is coming in, is that what we're being led into, is that kind of energy of the...
Yes, the balance of the heart and the feminine. Absolutely. And that's when the sweetness of life is going to come in. Now, not that I want to kick all the men out of the group, not at all. It's just that, as everybody knows, the divine masculine has led the way for hundreds of years, if not thousands. And it's gone overboard and it's become rather harsh. And so this is the lifting of the heart and the softening of the heart. It's our nature to be balanced. And so there's no way we can keep that from coming in. So yes, the divine feminine is coming in. We're going to treat humanity more like family than strangers, and it will be our new normal. Oh, I got goosebumps. I got a chill. I have goosebumps. So did I actually answer your question? I didn't give you as much time.
No. I think the local community is where everything's going to be thriving, because that's where we'll have that heart space centered, where you're not going to have big conglomerations helping stuff. It'll be the local, your neighbor is going to help you, as opposed to waiting for the government assistance to come in.
Oh, Dawn, I'm getting chills all over. Yes. And there's going to be heart centers where people can go to realign the frequency and balance out.
Perfect.
That's going to be a wonderful healing opportunity for the body mind.
Well, I think we're ready to take it to the audience now to ask to answer some questions. And let me see if there's someone that we have lined up.
Yeah, I've got one.
Okay.
I was going to ask Denise. Denise had asked about twin rays and what your thoughts were about the concept of twin ray energy.
Okay, thank you. Twin ray is very similar to twin soul. It can be quite confusing because I have seen different people define that differently. And the way I come from my experience, the way I have experienced and the way I've channeled twin soul energy. Twin ray is just a bit stronger. I'm going to talk about each one. We can have many twin souls. I think we all know that. And the twin soul energy can be quite nice. Twin flame energy is more difficult. Twin flame is, from my experience, where the two have parted. They were one and they parted. They learned different things, and then they have the opportunity to choose to be physical together at the same timeline or not. And there's complementary relationships and not so complementary. So both are very powerful, very high vibrational. With the twin ray, it's a little bit, you might say, lower than that, not less important, but it's an opportunity for spiritual love. And second to that, it's an opportunity for physical romantic love. I'm seeing that twin ray is more usually connected as a romance, and twin souls can be a mom, brother and sister, friends, and that you will, the older you are on the planet, the more incarnations you have, the more twin soul energy you will have. Like you 5 ladies are all twin souls. You travel together and it's fun, and you say hi again, and you help each other vibrationally and socially and emotionally, just in your presence, because we have frequency that emanates forth from our auric field. Our aura was made before our physical body. Our aura has intelligence and love and vibration, and your auras meld, and it feels so good. Just being with you feels so good. And so you are soulmates, and soulmates usually travel together from the same soul group. I hope that that answered her question.
That is great. And that was for Denise. So thank you, Denise, for the question. We have another one. I'm going to take Penny Henshaw's question. You said my legs vibrate and I get a high pitch in my right ear at times. Sometimes I get clicking in my ear. Are these signs of something spiritual? I think that's a great question for the collective.
Mm-hmm. It sure is. Thank you for that question. Of course, the first thing that I am getting, and if this helps relax you a little bit, this is not uncommon for spiritual people to have the dizziness and the clicking and the buzzing in the ear, something to do with the higher chakras. You are opening more to your gifts. And people usually use the word psychic, but we could say spiritual gifts. That when we are physical, we have the sight, sound, speech, touch, hearing. But in truth, something we weren't told when we were 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is that we have another. We have this. We are 6 sensory beings, and that we do have. And if you're like to read the Bible, it says in Corinthians, everybody has a gift. So the gift in you is waking up. You are not only waking up psychically, but that means your vibration is now higher, and your Kundalini energy may follow suit. So you might want to study that a little bit and just let that energy rise to the heart. It may stay here a while, and as it moves on up, it will burst and can cause ringing in the ears. But it is nothing to worry about. If you could take some nice deep breaths, breathing at least 3 times deep into your abdomen, and release it even more slowly. And then bring in the divine light all the way to your heart, even to your feet, cleansing out, and then bringing Gaia up through your body and releasing and asking your guides, because all of us do have spiritual guides, whether we use them or not. They love us. They're here for us to help you to align and balance that frequency. so that the ringing goes away, and to gently open your third eye. And you might want to, you might want to consider, I was going to say channeling, but I don't want to promote it that way. I want you to, if you're drawn to it, just to get your frequency up. There's so many beautiful paths out there of spiritual awakening. What we're wanting to do is to awaken to the truth of our being, that we are one with Source, that we are God in action. And as we awaken and can accept that, we can be more peaceful. And believe it or not, peace is the highest vibration, and it leads to self-actualization, to living the truth of who you really are and expressing that. So I hope that helped you. There's nothing to worry about, but if you are worried about it, go get your ears checked.
That's great, Betsy. And Penny, hopefully that helped you also with your question about your gifts. She'd also asked, what were her gifts?
She's a healer and she's a clairvoyant.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Penny, for the question. Now, Deborah Pecan asked a question. Does a person have to clear out their trauma history to be able to connect with higher realms?
Thank you. Good question, Deborah. Definitely not. Or I would not be able to channel. Believe me. No, start where you are planted and enjoy the journey as best you can. You can, and Deborah, you would make a great, they're saying spiritual undercover agent. I don't know if you like mysteries or something like that, but some of the things that you could do, how lovely is that you could help find lost children and that kind of thing. So if you are interested in doing that, but no, we clean out our trauma on our journey. And if everybody had to clean out their trauma before they could connect with the higher realms, boy, we'd all be out of luck. Deborah, your energy is beautiful and you are doing great.
Oh, that's super. Thank you, Betsy.
You're welcome.
All right. The next question comes from Nina Smiles. And her question is, what are earth angels exactly? I had a woman come up to me and said, I'm an earth angel, but I just thought it was a nice compliment.
That is a nice compliment. Absolutely. And I bet you are, Nina. An actual earth angel, and you very well could be, is a human being that has spent some time, whether visiting or incarnated in a way, at the angel realm. And I know some people have written that it's not possible to have been in the angel realm and then incarnate, but that's not my experience. I've run into several earth angels, and there's one in my family, and I know she came in for the help on many different levels on somebody else in her close family. But I'm just checking in to see the number of earth angels in our group. There's about 5 earth angels in our group that are here that have been over to the angelic realm. You can start as a human, and then when you choose to leave your vehicle and you're in the great unknown, in what we call heaven, the beauty and the bliss of God, divine I am, all that is, you can choose consciously from your soul level if you want to experience what it is with the angels. And that's a very beautiful, loving, blissful, peaceful place to go, especially if you've been greatly wounded while you were human. And then after you bring in that vibration and find yourself at a place of calm and peace and joy, and you're relaxed again, then you can come back on earth and bring that beautiful light and love to the planet.
Oh, that's beautiful, Betsy.
Oh, good.
That is great. All right. Sher's up next. Cher has a question. I'd love to talk more about the chills and how to discern if it's good or maybe negative. Used to be throwing up when something bad would be coming. Also, any good geographical areas I should be in. Okay.
Sounds like a couple of questions here. I'll answer the first one. There's always better geographical areas. And but we'll answer the first one. Usually people give their most important question first. The chills are good, but throwing up, not so good. You're getting rid of something out of your system that should be released. So even though it needs to be released and you're throwing up, it's a good thing because you are cleansing the negative toxicity physically and vibrationally. If you want to talk to a friend or tell the friend to block themselves and protect if you're going to talk about your negative stuff so they don't absorb it, because so many of us are empaths these days. So have your friend protect, and it's okay to release it. Some people say don't talk about it because you're going to attract it. But of course, you don't want to necessarily talk about it all the time. But you could say this is a session between me and my friend that's designated towards my healing, and then let them know what you're going to be talking about and release it. As you're doing that, I see that you might get the chills because you'll be feeling more light and your body is learning to adapt to the higher frequency. When you channel and bring in a being of light, now not all beings of light come into your body. I ask my beings of light just to stay up here, stay out here. I brought beings in before. It does not feel good. And once I brought in a being that had passed over in a dreadful way, and they came into my body, and then I felt like throwing up. But don't ever ask something to come into your body. Always qualify your guide. And if your guide is good and loving, they can stay out here. If you want to do deep trance state channeling, then you might bring the full energy into your body, but have somebody with you to assist you to make sure if they need to, they can gently touch your knee to bring you softly out of state. Have some water and know that you can lay down and rest. But take your time, qualify who you're going to let in. You're at the controls, so always speak either in your mind clearly or out loud who you want. Okay, I hope that helped.
All right. Thank you, Shar, for the question. All right. The next one, Betsy, we have is from Lindsay Fry. And Lindsay had a question of how do you connect with a deceased loved one? Is that the same as challenging the divine?
Is that the same as channeling the divine? I bet
it's just challenging, but it might be a channeling. I'm not sure, but
yes. What I find for me is after learning how to channel, which are spirits, which are without a body, that it's very easy to connect with people who don't currently have a body, with the spirit of that person that you love. So it's easy to connect with someone that you have lost. Of course, we never lose anyone, that they can, whenever they're wanting and agreeable, they can come in and join us. What I mean by wanting and agreeable, there are levels of heaven, and some souls choose to stay around a level where they can help the earth plane and where they can talk to their loved ones or wait for their loved ones. And it's a lovely level. But there's another level of integration where you can do some planning and more high spiritual work. And then a third level where you're in preparation to reincarnate someplace in the past, in the future, in another star system, or back here on Earth. And I know a lot of people will say, I don't want to come back to Earth. But you don't know, really. Once you go over, your soul may say, that was a great lesson. Boy, that was a tough life, but it was a great lesson. I'm going back. So buckle up. And the way you connect with a deceased loved one is to, once again, sit in a relaxed position, connect with your heart. I would say for that, surround yourself with white light as protection. Ask for a guide that can help you to connect with heaven, that is loving, easy, and will keep you protected and grounded. And then let yourself, this is kind of a channeling question, let yourself float into the divine and think of that person and simply say, are you there? And most likely you're going to hear, feel, know that they are there. They will say yes, either with a feeling or you'll get impressed with the sound of yes. And then you can say, are you okay? the thing that's going to be most difficult is that ego. You'll get your answer, but it'll be so much easier than you thought it would be that you will say, oh, that was too easy. So trust, listen, trust, and act on what is impressed upon your intuition and your imagination, and accept it and move forward. I hope that helped.
Yes, and thanks, Lindsay, for the question. The next one, Betsy, that we have is from Kayani. And her question is, I've known that I'm a healer for many moons. I am not sure what direction to go and any insight. Also, someone named, looks like Johib talks to me a lot. I think I am lost figuring them out.
Yeah, someone you used to know that wants to help you. It's a good energy. Okay, let's see, I've been a healer for many moons. Yeah, you're to go in the direction that you feel would be most exciting for you to do. I think that you are a natural healer. They're telling me that you've been Native American and as a healer, and that you have been, I don't know, it's either Spanish or Mexican as a healer, and that you were a natural healer. You were born a healer. So you are bringing back some gifts that you had in a different incarnation, 2 or 3 different incarnations. And the direction to go would be using your hands. You might want to either, what I'm finding is that I'm wanting to say, connect with me, but because that question, what direction to go, can get developed into a long answer. So yes, you are a healer. Yes, you have many talents. One of the ways to go is they're saying to get little, what's the word that I want? Amulets, little somethings around you, to like Native American somethings, to help you to stay connected and to your healing gifts. So, and you are a natural channel too. So you've got a lot of directions that you can take. I would say follow and trust your heart. There's something in you that already knows what direction you want to follow. Trust that you can do it. There's 2 or 3 avenues that will take you step by step into your self-expression, into your soul's purpose. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Betsy.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And the next question is from Paula Gervais. I'm on my spiritual path, but I can't figure out what my path should gravitate to, either medical intuition or psychic readings.
Oh, boy, those are very close. I'm seeing that your interests could involve working with women, and maybe even pregnant women, which would lend itself towards the medical, wouldn't it? Either path will help you to dovetail into the other. Let me look here. You have had a medical past life as a physician. So if you were to look at Barbara Brennan's books, you might see diagrams of the human body, the human anatomy, which would be good for you to spark to seeing into the body. If you go take your spiritual path forward and say, I want to do the medical, you will be able to see into the body, and you will see what organ lights up, and then you can go into the organ and see what's wrong with the organ, where in the organ, what lifetime it led to, what thought form, and you'll be able to tell the person all about that. That is so exciting, isn't it? Yet, I want you to know, if you do psychic readings, there will be some people that will come to you that have health issues. And sometimes you can tell them, let me scan your aura first. I want to see what's going on with your body. And with the psychic reading, you can read their body like you read a newspaper, and you can go right to the red or the black, whatever spirit shows you as the hot mark that needs to be looked at. And you can look at that, you can see which organ it is, and then you can ask the organ, what do you want to tell me? And then you can see, feel, hear, or know what the organ wants to say. Help me, or stay away, or come in closer. and this is the lifetime it happened, and this is the person that they know in this incarnation that was connected to that incarnation that caused them to feel this way. And then you can bring that to their awareness, and they can self-heal just with their knowledge, and you're cleansing that out with them, get it out of that organ and bring it back into a higher vibration. So either path is exciting. There's not that much difference because you're still helping people to heal. One's more physical, but because the physical is connected to the emotional and the spiritual, you'll be healing both. And same with psychic.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're going to continue on a little bit over. So we're going to try to get a few more questions. The next one is from Girl Gone. And she has a question. Are my gifts transforming again? Because I'm getting the energy hot flashes again.
Yes, they are transforming. They're increasing. You're going to have 2 more gifts that come in. And Spirit seems to want you to go professional and bring your gifts to the world. They're saying the way you can do this is stay cleansed, make sure you take care of your own healing, that you love yourself, that you're not too codependent with one other person, that you make sure you maintain your own energy for not only your sake, but if you're going to be a gift to the world, you want to do it for the larger number of people as well. So you're getting 2 more gifts. You are very good at what you do. Perfect them, let them grow. Keep yourself cleansed and grounded. And of course, we could always do a show on cleansing and grounding. But in the meantime, I think you know what I'm talking about. Girl Gone.
All right. Thank you. The next one is from Miss Erica. How do you know if you're a healer? I'm really considering getting into Reiki healing.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, if you are asking the question, you're a healer. If it tickles your fancy, you're a healer. Absolutely. Reiki is lovely, either for a practitioner that chooses to go professional or for someone that just wants to work on themselves and their family. The beautiful healing energy will come through your hands, and your hands are already healing hands. And there are healing chakras here that can be awakened so that the energy can flow more. And I see that Reiki healing would be lovely, absolutely lovely for you, that you would love it. Oh, neat. I just saw that it would help to open your third eye, which I find quite fun. So you are just someone wondering about if you think you could be a healer or want to be a healer or think about being a healer. That's one of the ways Spirit talks to you.
Thank you. Well, we had a related question from MC because she says, my gifts are starting to open up. Also unsure about a direction to go. Any thoughts on that?
It looks like there may be a move. There's some energy that may precede the direction of her gifts opening up. So there's something you're going to do first, and then your gifts will open up. It's a direction to go that has moving energy. So you're going to change locations or jobs. I don't think it's a job. It may be a location. So just know that that may happen first. And then it looks like you're going to meet a significant person, not necessarily romance, but a significant person in your life. And the way for your gifts to open up is for you to choose a path, whether it doesn't really matter what it is, as long as it resonates with your heart and makes you happy. Being happy is such a good high emotion, a good high vibration. So choose a direction that makes you happy. And wherever you start, it's like breadcrumbs on a path. One will lead to the next, and you will find your ultimate goal.
All right. We've got one from Spin Coast. How do I find out what my psychic gifts are?
I'm looking at you right now, Spin Coast. You know, when I hear the word psychic gifts, I immediately go into opening the third eye and anything that can accompany that. And I see that everyone is born with a gift, as we've already acknowledged. And your psychic gifts are the ability to see, and that would come through learning to channel, Again, follow the path that resonates with your heart. But I'm seeing that if you were to learn how to channel, you would open up that ability to see. And you're going to learn, if you do that, you're going to learn a lot about the higher self and the true nature of reality, as well as being able to channel for others. So you might want to take a look at, we were talking about, can I mention somebody else's name that I find popular and good? Like
Absolutely.
we were talking about both Joe Dispenza and Greg Braden. You might want to Google them and see how they talk. Your psychic gifts would blend very well with the higher nature of reality. And just follow your heart to find out what you do have gifts. I hope that helped.
That's great. We had a question from Dawn. Dawn, you had a burning question.
So what does Orion have to say about astrology and like human design, those things?
I personally love astrology. And I'm asking Orion right now because I've never asked him that question. That's a good one. Orion is saying astrology is a clue to the workings of the universe. Follow the stars, my darlings. Follow the stars. Your secret, goosebumps again. Your secret life, your secret truth, your path, your family. We are here. And this is a clue to your higher reality. You know what? When I'm in my head too long, I start to get light in my eyes, and I have that light now, which is just lots of light up here. So if I could take, I saw Julie, if I could take hers as the last question, that would be good for my body, my vehicle. Thanks for understanding.
All right. All right. So you said there was a question from Julie.
I thought I saw a question pop up from a lady named Julie.
Okay.
Oh, there she is. How do
Yep.
I find it easier to live in this 3D world? Oh, that's another good question. That's going to be a choice. I'm sorry to tell you that. We respond to life from our own perception. That's a choice. Our perception could be love-based or fear-based. Try not to identify with the physical. Try to identify, the path home or to enlightenment is not necessarily forward, it's inward. That's your path. So if you go in, then you will find that you connect with truth, with love, and that everything out here is a projection of your beliefs. And those beliefs are helping to create the timeline that you're living in and will mirror back to you where you are now. So to find it easier to live in the 3D world, don't believe in it. Believe in this and change your perception and know that you are unlimited, that you are beautiful, that you are loved. Don't believe what anybody else says unless it feels good to you and resonates as you continue on your spiritual path. Thank you. Good question.
That's great, Betsy. Thank you. And I know this takes a lot of energy out of you, and we really sincerely appreciate your answers and Orion's beautiful messages and words to all of us. Penny actually had asked a question about how we uncover our spiritual gifts. And I wanted just to make sure that everyone knew what's going to be coming this fall on the channel. And Dawn's already started offering some astrology classes where you get to learn about your birth chart. But we're going to be rolling out some specific classes around reading in the Akashic Records. I'm going to be teaching that along with two other teachers. Jen and Wendy are going to be teaching a tarot class. We've got some really exciting learning that hopefully can help you expand your spiritual gifts. And it also helps inform you on what you want more of, your intuitive abilities, opening up that third eye. And I think it's going to be a wonderful time for all of us to share our gifts. And so be on the lookout for that. over the next coming weeks we'll be announcing. But again, I wanted just to sincerely, on behalf of all of us at the Spiritual View crew, thank you, Betsy, for your time, your love, your energy, your guidance from Orion. And I really I've written a lot of notes, and I think it resonated with all of us. So with that, we are going to let everyone go for the evening. And again, I just want to mention that you can find Betsy at thepsychicteacher.com. She has the 2 books that you can purchase. I'm holding up the one on Ascension. And she also has channeling classes if you have interest. And she's also now opening back up private readings. You weren't for a while. So
I know, I was off for a while.
No, she does not advertise this very much. But if you mention that you came on the Spiritual View and you send her an email, she's at it's askbetsymorgan@yahoo.com. She was going to give anyone who's been on this episode this evening that just make sure you reference that, and she'll give you a good discount for her sessions. And she wants to do that for us as a special gift. But again, Betsy, you're an amazing human being. We just love your energy, your vibration. I think we've all just been so blessed to have you. Again, everyone who's joined us, we are so grateful for you. Everyone have a wonderful and lovely weekend, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much.
Thank you.